Good evening, everyone. I'm Erwin Cain, and for some of you who may not know me, I'm your state representative, and I can testify to the expense of a campaign. And I was fortunate enough to have been blessed with a very short name, so I got to get the little 4x4 sign. Eddie's campaign is going to cost twice as much, so he's going to donate twice as much money. Folks, a lot of you have heard me lament in my relatively short political career about how important it is to know your candidate. I have discovered something that's going to come as a shock. Not everything a candidate says can be believed. I know it's surprising to you. But it's important to not just believe them. It's important to know them. It's important to find somebody that knows them if you don't know them. And get the real skinny. Because goodness knows we've got a lot of candidates who are now elected that we wish we didn't elect because they really didn't turn out to be the real deal. They didn't turn out to be what they said they were going to be. And a judge, even more important, do we need to know. See, these judging races, they fly pretty low under the radar. Because most people don't give them a lot of credence until you happen to be in front of the judge in a domestic dispute or a civil action or charges are pending. And then suddenly you understand that judges can have immense power over your calendar, over your money, over your family, even over your very life. So it's really important that we are absolutely sure that we elect someone who has the highest integrity, the most honorable, qualified person in our community to hold that post. Eddie Northcutt fits the bill. He's that kind of a person. You know, you've heard about Eddie's legal career. He's got nothing but sterling praise from everybody who's ever practiced law with him or against him. You've heard from his family about the kind of family man that he is. Eddie is well-rounded in all respects. He was a school teacher, was a pastor. He's a good lawyer. He understands the different aspects of life that you need to be a good judge. One of the things I know about Eddie, I've known Eddie for years, and I've never really spent a lot of time together, but Eddie recently taught a Wednesday night class at our church. It was based on a book called Radical. If you've ever read the book, it'll kind of change your perspective of things. And one of the things that I began to understand about Eddie is that he's really not a religious guy. He really just loves God. And I think we all know that religion tends to militate sometimes against loving God. And I'll tell you something else. From my perspective, if we don't elect a judge who has a relationship with God, we've automatically erred. We've automatically messed up. See, I'm not one that thinks that God will favor, say, one football team over another. Even though I think he tends to favor the Cowboys every once in a while. God honors those who seek him and those who serve him. We heard tonight that the Democratic Party took out of their platform God-given when it came to talking about talents. Well, I guess God was listening because apparently there are no exterminators in the Democratic Party because there is an outbreak of bed bugs in Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, he does tend to honor those who seek him. Folks, it's important to know who you're electing because today's commissioners, tomorrow's congressman. Today's county judges, tomorrow's senator. Today's judge may be on the Supreme Court. And we need to know who we're putting in office. I just want to read to you some of the involvement that Eddie's been in. We know he's a family man. We know he's a good lawyer. He's a good Christian guy. But he's also a public servant. These are just some of the things that Eddie has voluntarily involved himself in just because he wanted to be a servant. He's been on the Silver Springs School Board, the Hopkins County Appraisal District, the Northeast Texas Council on Alcohol and Drug Abuse, the Silver Springs Soccer Association, the Hopkins County Team Court, Hopkins County Community Action Network, and has coached for many years in soccer and baseball. That doesn't mention all the different things he does at our church. Folks, you couldn't get a more solid, core, honorable man full of integrity than Eddie Northcutt. So let me be pleased to introduce the next judge of the 8th Judicial Court, Eddie Northcutt.